Our four characters are the exploratory members of their Sky Island nation's first airship mission. While the bulk of the crew is chopping lumber and digging up topsoil, the party is exploring the rest of this island, looking for anything that can help improve the food security and resource shortfalls of their home. During a quick survey before the initial landing, the party noticed an old, overgrown farmstead and a taller tower, and a couple of other clearings throughout the island. At the farmstead, they harvested a variety of vegetable crops, seeds, and transplantable plants, and fought off some aggressive insects. At the tower, they located academic volumes on animal husbandry, along with some nobles' clothing. While looting the tower, they saw evidence of hippogriffs to the east, further away from their vessel. Before they could come to a decision on what to do next, they spotted a pair of artificial sphere-like creations approaching the tower, and combat broke out. As the spheres were killed, they emitted a small puff of blackish-purple miasma that is too close to the legends of the invading hordes that forced their nation to take to the sky. We pick up as the party is discussing what they should do next. It is mid-afternoon, and they have 6 hours until they are expected to return to their ship.
Well, I guess the question then becomes of, are we going to collect everything here and just bring it back to the ship, or do we wish to go search for those hippogriffs?
I would recommend we take what we have here, bring it back to the ship, and then, if we so desire, set out for the hippogriffs. I think 6 hours hopefully is enough time. I think I can get us back to the ship in about an hour, and that gives us about 5 to round trip hippogriffs, collect some eggs, and return.
If that's the case, then I'm good with that.
I'm asserting that that's hopefully the case.
But let's see if we can do something with those hippogriffs. I know River was interested too, but especially if these creatures are making an appearance again, we must marshal all the strength we can.
Yeah, I think that's another discussion to have. I would say it might be worthwhile to bring the corpse, remains, whatever you have, with us so we can show the captain, but I know people were a little nervous about that, and to be clear, I'm not suggesting we take it back on the ship. Something about enclosed spaces and whatnot, but if we could at least show the captain what we saw rather than just telling him, that might go better.
Maybe one.
One's enough.
Yes, I could hold on to one of them. We do know they're at least indisposed for a day, although they...
Oh, these ones, I think these ones are quite dead.
Perhaps a bit longer, yes.
I think one day wasn't enough for how we felt about them, so... Yeah.
So yes, I will take one of the little spherical creatures.
Actually, GM, could I, if from the tower, I want to look to where the hippogriff sightings, or we sighted the hippogriffs, and kind of ballpark how long it would take to make the round trip from our ship to there and back? Kind of a best guess from here?
Give me a survival check for that.
Sure.
So it looks... You saw them flying probably maybe 45 minutes away as the crow flies. It feels just about the same maybe as the distance back to your vessel, of course in the opposite direction. There are hints by the way that the trees are kind of surging up at places. You think there might be some ridges along the way. So there could be some crevices or dried up riverbeds or things that may complicate the voyage a little. But pure distance-wise, it feels about 45 minutes away.
That doesn't seem bad.
No, I think it's worth the risk. I mean, I think we should get news back to the captain that something is happening here with these creatures. But as I said, it's hard to resist the thought of one day us having our own flock of hippogriffs in the city.
I think, were I the napping type, I think my nightmare during my nap would be going to get the hippogriffs and then trying to flee with the hippogriff eggs as they are chasing us and perhaps snagging the crops we have secured from the farmstead. So I'd feel better if the foodstuffs were stored back on the ship before we head out to acquire the hippogriff eggs.
That is a good point. Let's head downstairs. I think River is waiting for us.
Okay, I will move you all to the ground floor map.
And seeing this map, I am reminded that we considered doing some fishing here before we left, if that's still desirable.
Oh, okay, so we're going to the hippogriffs, right?
We were going to, the three of us were thinking we would go back to the ship, drop off what we found, and then go back for the hippogriff eggs.
And have 0 time in case something comes up.
I wouldn't say 0 time.
No, okay, think about it. It's like, what, a 50-minute walk back to the camp? And
yeah, we've got about 5 hours.
Back to here. Then another 50-minute walk over to the Griffins. That's 3 hours.
I know it's
and then we
getting
have
a
to
little
do it.
tight.
And you don't want any time in case we see something along the way to like explore it or anything? Are you stupid?
I want to get what we've already successfully procured stored and safe, such that if something happens to us,
Well, we have the sledge to bring stuff back. I think we will make faster time back to the hippogriffs if we drop things off first. I would love to see them up close, but we did come here for a job. Let's finish it first.
Okay, but I'm burning the vegetation that like clings to our feet. That way we're going to have a path to walk back.
Bushwhacking as it is. Good idea, River.
Okay, so it sounds like there is an agreement among the party that you are heading back to the vessel, trying to take the more direct route that you've scouted from this location. Sounds like River may be helping to mark the path and make it more obvious for repeated journeys. And then after that,
did
you're
we
going to head
want
back
to do
up.
any fishing here first?
Sorry, what?
Did we want to do the fishing here first? I think
Fishing
we
takes
saw
so
the
long. I can
there's
burn
no
there
large
and
fish.
take with us, or do you want them? Because that's the only way I'm going to get them out of there. Also, they're definitely not surviving the trip over land.
Yes, I don't have much faith in my fishing skills, even with them in such a small body of water. I worry we may waste more time.
It's not that hard. Famous
I
last
think
word.
We
With
will
time-
wait.
With time being a concern, I think perhaps spending much of it waiting for fish to bite might not be the best use of said time.
You think I'm going to use? No, I Zesh pulls out one of his javelins and suggests no.
That's what we're
spearfishing.
doing. If that's what we're doing, and they're going to be dead anyways, she raises the temperature of the water considerably.
Okay, you spend a couple of minutes, not enough to matter for your timing, to either pre-cook or capture the 2 large fish from the lake here. I will call them probably 3 bulk combined if you're carrying them back.
I believe we still have enough room on the sledge.
Yep, I've got one of the packs of vegetables, so I'm carrying, I believe, 1 bulk of that. So we had 2 more, and then 3 with the fish, so 5 total on the sledge.
Okay, and give me another survival check for your orienteering across the island.
Do you need this one blind?
Public is fine. Okay.
Oh, that was meant to be public.
They all are, so that's fine.
Oh, okay. Did I not see that one then?
You made.
Oh yeah.
You made.
Weird.
Between Brayshaw and Zesh, you're making good time. You're able to keep. You know that you're almost due east of the landing site. So, and by using the sun and the compass, I believe one of you have, you're able to keep a pretty straight shot heading back to the vessel. It only took roughly the hour you were expecting it to. Again, you don't have timepieces to know exactly, but given the movement of the sun, you feel pretty confident. The captain is a little surprised to see you back. It's only midday. You still have about 5 hours left. Is something wrong?
We just wanted to secure what we found so far before we do something a little more risky.
Oh, what risk are you planning to take?
Well, have you ever heard of creatures known as hippogriffs?
Yes.
Well, it seems there is a flock of sorts on this island. If we could retrieve some eggs, we could take them back.
I haven't heard that they had tremendous endurance, but airborne cavalry could be useful. Have
If
you
nothing
heard how
else,
much
they
they
are a means of
eat and how
transportation.
much they take to raise?
We've
Not
several
exactly.
books on the subject.
Oh, Brayshaw knows.
Okay.
And what I've not discerned yet, we have these books to also help answer those questions.
Well, it does sound like it could be very useful, but
I'm
it is a
going to drop
longer
off
term.
all these vegetables.
seeds and vegetables onto the ship and be like, I mostly went for like regrowable parts or seeds. So here we go.
Ah, yes. That was the primary goal. Very good. Let's make sure they're in the shade. I think for the ones that are replantable, at least, that would be helpful for helping them survive till tomorrow.
Do you have a room below that we don't have to enter? I can make it really cold in there for a while.
There's the cargo hold, but we are still loading that up. We cannot close that off.
Well, either way,
Um,
we may wish to step
yes.
inside and discuss some things we saw
Oh,
away from
we don't
the
have
others.
time. Let's.
No, this is that we need to make time for this.
River, I think this
Oh,
is
fine.
important.
but there's,
She's going
there's
to,
not
like,
really an
cool
inside,
down
but
the
he at
vegetables
least will
and-
bring, up close to the helm's wheel, which
Yeah.
is not where any of the carpenters and lumberjacks are working. You had something you wanted to discuss away from the rest of the crew.
Brayshaw, did you?
Yes, Brayshaw will produce the spherical creature from his pack. This creature, there were two of them that we encountered. It's not functional any longer, but when it was, my rememberings, it seemed to be emitting some of that purple miasma.
When we slew it, it did.
Yes.
I don't recall if it was emitting it continuously during operation, but
It was not.
They are here?
Yeah.
How many more
At
have you
least,
seen?
at least a couple.
only the two, and they came to us while we were in that tower over yonder.
Yes. Both destroyed.
Doesn't seem like they knew we were there ahead of time. Maybe following patrols, scouting. I'm not sure. They did not seem to be in a rush as they entered the tower, and seemed more to happen upon us than anything else.
Most interesting.
They were very hostile, though.
Did the
And
ground
if nothing else,
around it become poisoned?
No.
Well,
Not
believe
that we
so.
noticed. I mean, we did fight them inside the
And-
tower, so I can't. They were not slain upon the ground, but the floor of the middle second floor of the tower.
He is going to stare a little at Brayshaw's hands. I don't see any sign of corruption.
Nor do I feel any.
Well, you wouldn't until it is too late if the stories are to be correct. But no discoloration I can see, and the stories had a different coloration. They were mechanical or constructed, but not this silver and gold. They were always tarnished, black. It is good to know something that resembles them is here. We will be ready for an immediate departure when you return from your next. We have not finished chopping wood. We need at least another 2 to 3 hours to be finished here anyways, it feels like, unless we were to abandon most of our voyage. But I will make sure people
think it's
know to
worth
be ready
that.
to drop everything at a moment's notice if there's an alarm sounded.
Do you have any medics about you? Some of us are somewhat injured in our fight against these, and while I have my own bandages, it would take me some more time to tend to everyone.
None of us are trained in that way.
Perhaps something to think about for your next voyage.
Yes. I would have had a surgeon on board when I was doing my sea voyages, but those were usually a week to a month long, and a day trip, I guess I was too excited to be captaining again.
Sesh, maybe you take a look at River's wounds. I should be fine for the trip.
If River would like me to, I will be happy to oblige.
fine. It does hurt a little bit.
I guess I'll actually even put you back on the shore map. So you're doing some medicine, it sounds like?
Yes.
Okay. And the captain is still, you can tell he is staring at the remains you brought, and he is trying to figure out if they should be brought back or not.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your plant physiology. I apologize.
At least you didn't make it worse. can drink
I-
another one of these Sarah Lives, I guess.
Okay. Do a little bit of healing.
I'm
And
really not doing good at the rolls for those. Damn.
the captain is going to leave the corpse of the creature currently off the boat, but inside a bag that could be grabbed. He is wanting to observe it to just make sure it doesn't start emitting anything else before bringing it onto the boat. So he wants a couple hours of observation is what he's going with at this point in time. And then
All
you're
right,
heading
we're going
back out.
we're going to really push ourselves to get back over there, okay? I don't want any of you to fall over.
Yes.
Match
That's
the
double time.
pace.
No, directly for the flying hippogriffs.
Okay. I
Yeah.
won't take a survival check to get back to the tower, given that River said she was blazing the trail, making it easy to follow, and you've been across it once.
Literally blazing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're back at the tower. You know, it's now getting on, I believe, if I'm doing my math correctly, it's about 3 p.m. You know you're supposed to be back no later than 7. So you know you have 4 hours still to work with. And you think it's going to be 3 hours of that you think are spoken for in terms of travel time from where you are. I will take a survival check
Yeah.
to find your way over to the hippogriffs from where you are.
Right, well, pressing onwards.
Let me get my survival.
Yep, I'll wait for Zesh as well. This also means that both Brayshaw and Zesh, you know, this is your exploration mode activity. You're not doing anything else. You're just helping navigate. And it's a little bit tricky. It's taken you a little longer than you'd hoped. You still think you're within your windows, and you think the return trip will be a little faster, but you know it's starting to push your luck just a little bit. You do hear the sounds in the distance of flapping wings, of a neighing kind of crossed with a little bit of a more reptilian hiss. And what would you be doing as you approach the area that you think these hippogriffs live in?
I think I'm going to be a scout myself.
Okay.
So it's probably a good idea to discuss as we're heading over if we are trying to be stealthy versus and sneak up and snatch and leave and hopefully have the hippogriffs none the wiser, or if that is just not going to happen.
I would like to stealth into there myself.
I can
I actually do have
sneaking in.
stealth.
I do too. We can go together.
So we're sneaking in.
Okay. Give me stealth rolls for those of you who want to be sneaking in.
Okay.
Is this still part of an
Here we go.
exploration activity?
No, at this point, I would let the other
Alright.
two, if you want to be stealthing, you've found your way to this location.
All right, in which case I shall hug to the shadows, or at least attempt to. Oh,
That's
apologies,
fine. Don't
that
worry.
should have been.
It's okay. And Zesh,
I mean,
what are you trying?
Yeah,
are you stealthing,
I
or are you doing
suppose-
something else?
I suppose I should try as well. Not that I have any talent at it, but
Okay. So, as you're approaching this area, let me put you on a new map. Here we go. And you can see that there is a nest with some eggs in it under this tree here. However, two of you, both River and Zesh, were fairly loud in your stealthing approach. If you want to let me know what that failure would look like from your character's perspective, please let me know.
River has always had this problem. Whenever she sneezes, a big puff of flame comes out of her nose, and she's like, "Achoo!" And just like a huge amount of flames in her nose. Oh, shit.
so Zesh is fairly. He's always got his shield up, and is used to, taunting by kind of clanging his axe against his shield. So it's just kind of part of the way he moves, and it's hard to train himself out of that. So it's just kind of an inadvertent clang as he off the shield as he was looking around.
And so the two circling hippogriffs, you can tell they are now aware of you. They move to kind of begin circling directly above the nest. Kind of one of them always keeping the eye on you at all times, but they're having to kind of go in a circle, so that's why it takes a pair of them to kind of keep the full awareness of what's going on here. So these are kind of lion gold colored, horse-like winged creatures with a little more of a raptor type beak and foreclaws. They're currently about 20 to 30 feet up. What are you doing?
Isaac's going to keep, if he hasn't been spotted, he's going to stay in the brush and keep slowly making his way forward towards that nest along the northern brush and trees here.
Okay, you can give me another stealth check for your sneak.
Okay, here's that one.
Yeah, you can do 3 moves worth at half speed.
Okay, I'll handle that on my own here.
Yeah, I'm not making this initiative yet, but I'm kind of still turn by turn for what you're doing. What's the rest of the party doing?
I think River's going to approach and try to get their attention with just like lobbing little fireballs at them because her impulses are at 60 range.
Okay, so are you trying to initiate combat or are you trying to do something else?
I think I'm going to try to encourage them to leave by setting things on fire.
Okay, give me an intimidate check then.
And for intimidation. Oh, should that not have
fine.
been private?
It could have been public, but it's fine. I'll show it. They definitely seem to be worried about you. It's tough to get them to leave though. This is their nest. They maybe are backing up a little bit, but they're still staying over the nest, and I will put a frightened on them from that. I know that really wasn't what you were going for in terms of effects, but
Yeah, that's fine.
it does seem like they are feeling backed into a corner. They are scared, they are intimidated, but they are not going to leave their eggs. So that was the River. Brayshaw or Zesh, do you have a plan?
I think Zesh will approach to about where River is, or not too far. And from here, can I see how many eggs are in the nest?
From there, you can give me a perception check on that. You can see it. You can see at least the curve of 2, and given the way one of them is kind of higher up, it's either resting on a side of the nest or another egg or 2 underneath it. So there's at least 2, maybe as many as 4. Hard to exactly tell.
I think Zesh would muse to himself, but hopefully loud enough for Isaac to hear. Oh, I wonder if these things will miss one of their eggs going missing. If maybe, I wonder if they'd notice. But presumably they don't speak common or whatever the standard language is here.
Okay, and Brayshaw?
I'm going to move forward along with Zesh and River. I'm still going to attempt to do it stealthily, maybe sticking to the underbrush of some of these trees we have here. I do want to be close enough to protect my companions, but I also don't want to take center stage, so to speak. So I'll do this hopefully as stealthily as possible.
Okay. Yep. You can also do a triple move at half speed.
Yes, that's right around
So
here.
after one
Excellent.
round of interacting, this is where you currently stay. You have the 2 hippogriffs that are acting very threatened and still very much protective of their nest. Their attention is focused on River. Brayshaw, you actually think if River didn't have their full attention, they probably would have spotted you on your recent move. But they are so focused on River right now that they didn't see you. What are you trying to do now?
I mean, I think
Well,
River's got the right
now that-
idea.
If I got their full attention, I might as well become more of a menace to them. I'm going to move a little closer and use the flying flame ability to make like a fire bird that just fall for their heads.
Give me... I would take Intimidate, I would take Performance. You don't have a magic discipline with Kineticist. What skill kind of governs your facility with your fire abilities? I haven't looked into Kineticist too much.
After I read thing on it, it's nature, and
Okay.
a lot of these skills are linked to intimidation.
Okay.
So I'm kind of playing to my strengths here.
That's fine. Yeah, Intimidate or Nature sounds appropriate here then.
All right, and fire.
That's going to be a fail.
I have a hero point to spend.
We will start combat here. Let me toggle everyone in. You can go ahead and roll. I'm going to leave the Frightened
All right.
2 on them for this.
I'm not sure what
I'll
my
take the
stealth
11
was last
for
turn.
my thing. I'll click-
I don't know what my previous stealth was, or would you like me to roll a new one? Because I'm still
I will put
unseen
in...
this.
Go ahead and roll, and I'll put in the old one.
Okay.
And
I'll take the
also
11 from
I'll
my
also,
main
I'll also drop Brayshaw to his earlier last round stealth, and River drops. Actually, I'm going to let River stay where you are. If you're going first, I'm going to say you get 2 actions now. I don't know how many that was, but you still get to go immediately.
Okay. Well, we're counting how many actions Flying Flame was. And
I'm still going to give you 2
I'd be
now.
out. Okay. Well, seeing that it definitely is not working, she's like, all right, we'll do it the hard way. She's going to hit this one with a flame impulse, and once again, this won't do the proper damage.
That will just miss. It goes like right through its flapping wings or right between the legs. It was so close to hitting it.
And she's been channeling this whole time, so maybe just one more elemental blast, but at a 1 action, which will miss.
Yes. Up next
Significantly
is one
also,
of them.
That should have just been a 1.
So now it's the northern one, the one that was flying a little higher, so it's a little further away, but it is going to come flying down towards you. It, let's see, 2 action ability, moves up to its fly speed. So it is going to come flying down toward River and Zesh. Let me see if it has enough movement to get to both of you. Not quite. So it's going to move to there, just past River, and it has flown down to only being 5 foot above. And it is now going to lash out with its hooves against you twice.
All right.
The first one misses. You can tell maybe it's shying away from just the fire a little bit, and it's just instinctively a little nervous about attacking you, even though it's coming straight for you. And the second one is also a miss. And then it has 1 action left. That was a 2 action ability that lets you move and strike twice. And it's then going to circle back partly back to its nest and rise a little bit back up in the air. It's 10 feet up now. And that was its turn. Isaac.
Okay. Seeing as it flew back up a bit, I think he is going to continue moving through the brush here as best he can to see if either he can get a better position or that he can snatch these eggs and we can get out of here. So he is going to do a stealth check to see if he can keep going.
You're free to try.
Yep. So he whether it works or not, we'll see. He's going to just do all of his movement heading through this brush.
Let's say about halfway through, you do step on a branch, and you hear a loud snap. So if you want to...
Okay. Well, either way, I don't think that would change anything. He would keep moving. If anything, he's more protected under the trees. Yeah, no, he'll stop back here and stay in cover. And that'll be all 3.
Up next is the other hippogriff. And that one, I think, is going to go for Isaac. First, let me just make sure that one did. Okay. So it flies over towards you, drops down to only 5 feet above, is going to lash out with 2 hooves against you. You see those sharp talons on those front come lashing at you, and you're not fire, you're not as scary, it manages to hit you. The 23 against AC for 5 points of slashing damage.
All right.
It makes its second swipe with a 17, just misses. And then it also goes flying back above its nest and rises back up in the air just a little bit. And up next is Zesh.
All right, well, I've got to move into the fray. Let's see what I've got in terms of... Well, the far one is too far away to taunt, but I will try to acquire the attention of the closer one by taunting it. And let me throw that on. So did that share?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I will put the taunt effect on. Actually, I can't do that. So
Okay, I'll drag it onto it.
Yep.
Okay, it's been taunted.
And that was 2 actions.
And what does your taunt look like to you? What do you think it...
I'm basically raising my voice and yelling at it and kind of growling at it. Kind of the eyes down here, sort of. But understanding that these have animal intelligence, and it's not really...
Okay.
It's less verbal and more guttural. And then I think I will just raise my shield.
Okay, Brayshaw.
All right, well, I'm going to move myself up here next to both Zesh and River. It's going to take 2 of my actions, but stealth is no longer an option here. I think we've been made for sure. And I'll just whisper under my breath. I definitely hope you both know exactly what you're doing. And with my last action, will tap my staff on the ground, casting protective wards, giving an aura of protection 5 feet around me.
River.
By now, you should know we absolutely do not.
I make it up as I go. I'm sorry.
It was rhetorical, but yes, let's try not to die nevertheless.
So we're going to hit that with another 2 action impulse. Here we go.
It's going to miss.
Okay.
And just checking, the +5, is that correct? It says, yeah, +2 for Dex, +3 for trained. Yep, okay. Just making sure.
I made sure that it was correct. Yes. A 1 action impulse.
19 against AC will hit.
Matt.
So -4 or -5, either way, that's going to be a miss.
I apologize. I'm almost never martial.
Nope, no worries. Yep, that is a miss. So that was a 2 action and a 1 action. Okay.
She's still just throwing fireballs at them.
And the
Very-
one that has been
very
taunted
nice.
is
Threatening
up
them.
next. So its attention has been directed towards Zesh in spite of the fireballs coming from River. It is going to once again do the little fly down, be next to the 2 of you, and it does get to lash out at both of you with this. How does that interact with taunt? Takes an hostile action
If
that
the
includes at
taunted
least
enemy
one but
takes-
doesn't include you. So this is a 2-action activity that includes 2 subordinate strikes. I would think actually the one that goes against River, which will be the second one, I think will still trigger taunt, is my understanding of
I
how
would think
taunt
it would.
works. If it was an AoE targeting, that's when it would be fine. But when it's 2 separate subordinate actions, I think that's going to say it's going to be off guard as a result afterward. Does that match your understanding, Zesh?
I have very little understanding, so I will defer to you.
First time for both of us
especially if
playing
it's
with
in my
Guardians.
favor.
Yep, that's what I thought. If it's in your favor, you won't be too upset. The hit against you is a 22 against AC, which looks like that is a success.
Yeah, yes.
So 5 points of slashing, and then
I will shield block that,
okay, and then it does
and
what?
I believe that
completely absorbing 4 damage. Okay, because you have resistance 1 as well, I believe, or something. That's why.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah, I have resistance physical 1 as a guardian.
great. And then the second hoof against River is a 22, and so it is now off guard. But it is a 22, which will hit River
Yes.
for 8 points of damage, and will then go flying a little bit back away. Isaac.
Okay. He's doesn't feel great about them flying up, and now that he's been spotted, he is going to break cover and start making his way down to the group. And let's see, from here, does he have anything he can use? I think he will swap to his short bow, as they seem to be getting in and then out immediately, and he's unsure if he'll be able to do anything. So with the 1 action, he'll move to the short bow to try to assist.
Okay.
So 2 action move, 1 swap, that's all 3.
The next hippogriff is up. It is going to mantle and screech at River. This is going to be an intimidate check against you
Okay. This is resisted by what?
by your will DC. So 15 against your will DC.
13, so I'm good.
So you are
I'm
you're
not
frightened
good,
1.
but
Yep.
Give me the frightened.
Yep. And I mean, it was also untrained at that, so that's, not a great skill for it. It just happened to roll decently well. And it's going to... It wasn't the taunted one, so it could go for anyone. But I think it actually is somewhat scared of River. That's why it's trying to scare River away. So I think it's going to go for someone else. Isaac has retreated from the nest. So I think it's going to be between Zesh and Brayshaw. I'm going to flip the coin. 1 is Zesh, 2 is Brayshaw. Going for Brayshaw. So it's going to do its flyby attack, which gets it to about there, and it can attack twice along that path. So here we go, targeting Brayshaw. 1 Talon.
The wards protect.
21 will hit
Yes.
for 8 points. And the second Talon, 10 against AC, will miss.
Luckily.
Zesh, you are up.
Okay, so it's still 10. Actually, if it's 10 feet up, did it swoop down and then
Yes.
swoop back up?
Yes.
Oh my.
They have
This is very troubling.
65 foot of fly. Yeah. And the flyby strafe, which is one fly, 2 attacks at any point along the movement. Oh, wait, sorry, I did miss that. Each strike must target a different creature. Have I ever double hit someone? I don't think so.
I was
No.
missed the second time, so no.
I think River was missed a second time. Yeah, okay. So they have to target 2 different creatures. That's not been cheated yet, though. I'll watch that.
Okay. I will, I guess, draw a javelin, huck the javelin, and taunt the near one. So that one is being taunted, and I'm going to, I guess, the axe has to get dropped. So draw and strike. All right.
Critical miss. But I've taunted the new one, and the off guard on the other one is
That's
no longer.
around. Yeah.
Okay. Brayshaw.
All right, well, clutching my newly opened wound, I will expand the protective wards by sustaining that, getting that to encompass all of us. And with my other 2 actions, I will target this one that came by and struck me. Let's see just how much it really does dislike fire. I will target it with an ignition spell.
21
Hopefully at 21.
will hit.
Alright, very well then. Have a bit of fire, won't you?
It's taken some fire damage. Doesn't seem to like that. Doesn't seem to be worse, or better or worse than you'd expect, but it does seem like fire is scary to it.
Alright.
And
That is my 3 actions.
Zesh, you're watching them. You can tell that they are going to be much less able to hit and run if you were beneath the trees. The branches are low enough, they couldn't really be flying underneath the trees. River.
I'll mention that off turn if I can.
Sure.
Yep, you can.
River's going to look over those eggs. There's just one of them over there now, right? And the eggs are like right here.
Yes.
You know what? We just want the eggs, right? So he's going to 1, 2. She's going to scoop the eggs into a bag.
Yeah, you see that there's 4. I think you can get 1 per action. These are large eggs for a
I'm going to
horse-sized
put
creature.
one egg in my bag because
Okay.
I only have 1 action. left.
Yep. And, well, the next one is right next to you and you're going in the nest. I think that
yeah,
one
but
has...
I'm holding its egg.
Oh. Yeah. What's it gonna do?
And I'm next to a tree, if that matters.
Yeah, it's going to come down right next to you. It is... I guess there's be more there. It's standing now directly over the rest of the eggs in the nest, guarding them. It's flapping the wings and mantling and screaming at you. That's going to do another intimidate.
Oh, I need to take this one down.
And it's not going to intimidate you this time. Surprisingly, even though you're right in its face, maybe you have a lot of confidence in the egg you're holding to keep it at bay. It is going to lash out with a hoof at you, but I'm going to be giving this as if it was its second map attack. That's its penalty for
Yep.
trying to avoid hitting the egg type of thing.
Yeah, it's an aimed attack or something.
Yeah. We don't have rules for that. This feels close enough to me, giving it a -5, but it rolled a natural 20. So,
Woof.
for minimum damage, 8 points. Are you still up?
No, I'm not.
You are dying too.
She falls over. Well, shit.
Your initiative moves to right before it, which is already where you were. And that was its whole turn. It is on the ground now, in case that helps. Isaac, you are up next.
Well, he can't particularly get to River and help yet, so he's going to turn towards the one that's on us to try to either drive it away or do something. He leans back and aims up with the short bow, and he's going to take a pot shot at it here. Oh, that's not great. I'm going to re-roll this because
Okay.
we're at that point.
15 against
Not-
AC is still a miss.
Oh, let's just let it have it. We're going for that deadly detail.
16 against AC is a miss.
Let me see. Is there anything useful I could do for my third action besides that? I can do lots of stuff if they're in melee, but no, there's nothing really.
Okay.
He is just firing off volley after, yeah.
And you might be starting to feel a little outgunned and frantic. You've seen River drop carrying an egg. You see that you've barely touched the two of these. And up next is the taunted one. And it's going to actually fly down and land. And it is going to try to bite. You haven't seen them use their bite yet. It is going to try to bite Zesh. With a 17 against AC will not get you. And it will then lash out with a talon as its second attack on you. And it misses. So that was its turn. It felt like it was time to come in for rout you all, and it looks like that did not work. Zesh.
I guess take an action to keep it taunted, and I will take an action to, or spend a 2-action activity to defensive advance to move in for the flank here, and then raise my shield, and then with that raised shield, use a shield bash attack with the shield boss.
Okay. It's a very action-efficient ability.
That's the idea. And this is the... Yeah, I got it. Shield boss. There we go. Nope.
15 against the flat-footed AC is still a miss.
That is my turn.
Brayshaw.
Well, Brayshaw will look at the hippogriff directly in front of him, and over at River on the ground farther away. I've got to go get her, I'll say to Isaac and Zesh. And unless you call out with a direct...
I wouldn't. Brayshaw, take care of this
Nope.
one here first. We can't help River if we're dead.
Right you are. Alright, I will instead turn my attention toward the hippogriff right where I am, and I will attempt to strike it. I know it's more powerful if I do this up close, so I will attempt to just whack this creature across the beak with a melee ignition instead. Oh. That will completely throw at my arm. Let us try a hero point, because I don't think a 9 is going to work.
A
Perhaps
22, on the other hand, will hit.
Very good. Well, I'll see if I can burn it up a little bit more. Have 8 points more of fire.
It's looking scorched. It's not horrible shape yet, but it is looking somewhat beat up. I think you have one action left.
I do, and I'm going to use that to, again, expand my wards just to provide that much more mobility to my allies while maintaining the bonus to our armor class.
River, give me your recovery check, just a flat d20. You're looking for
Will do.
a 12 or better. You are dying 3.
Can I re-roll that with a hero point?
You
Well,
can.
You would stabilize.
So you have two options. You can always use a hero point to reroll, or you can spend the hero point to stabilize. Anytime the dying condition would increase.
Okay, so I have one more round of dying before it becomes like...
Dead. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just ride this out.
Okay. Dying 3. And it is now the hippogriff that is next to you. I think it is just going to stay there. It's going to spend an action like trying to roll the egg back into the nest that River had taken. That's going to be its whole turn, just doing that basically.
It's in a bag, so is it able to get out of the bag?
Okay, it's going to spend an action biting at your bag, trying to rip it open. Let me give a beak roll on that. Yes, so it spends one action, biting at your bag. It does successfully rip it open. It then spends the next action kind of nosing the egg back into its nest, and then it just kind of stays there glowering at everyone. Isaac.
All right. Well, now we're in my zone here. He's going to swap back to his Aldori dueling blade. We will, as he does that, he kicks up a plume of dust into this creature's face, and he'll attempt to do a dirty trick. So he'll do a thievery check against it.
That is
Not
a
going to
failure.
work, but he then will, I believe he has one panache right now.
You have panache until the end of your next turn, even on a failure. Yes.
Yeah. So I will then do a confident finisher here. So I will make a strike with the Aldori dueling blade. Or sorry, I don't think is that the one I'm looking for here? Yes, it is. Because when I do the finisher, it does more. Okay.
Yep,
So
and you just
we'll
can't
go for
take
the
any other
strike.
attack actions after that, but this is, I believe, your third action, so that's fine. 12
Oh,
against
these
Ace,
roll.
still a miss. But you still do
That's
some
everything.
damage on a miss, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, was
Right.
this confident finisher? Yeah, it does the...
Let me see here.
I think it's the
Confident
precise...
finisher.
You do half your...
persist. Yeah.
So I think that's 1 point of damage.
If the strike's part of a finisher, it does 2d6, so it would do half that.
Okay, so roll, just do a /R 2d6. Thank you. 7 points. It takes half. Oh, it didn't give me. I'll apply it manually. It didn't give me the macro. There we go. It's been applied.
That's all three: the swap, dirty trick, and the finisher.
It is up next. It is still taunted by Zesh, correct?
Yes.
So it is going to try to bite you, Zesh, with a 21 against AC. It looks like it hits you right on the nose, or on the snout,
That's
as
right.
the case may be, for 6 points of damage.
All right. I'm going to use a reaction to shield block that.
Okay. And let's see. We are also 1 hour in, so I can award a hero point. And I'm going to give it to Brayshaw here. I think that ward is doing a lot of heavy lifting right at the moment.
Doing my best.
So then it bit you. You're unscathed. The shield completely absorbed 5 of the resistance. It's still gonna go for you. I mean, you're taunting it. You're trying to have its full attention. It's animal intelligence enough that I'm gonna let that be pretty strong here at the moment. It's gonna stay fixated on you with a Talon Strike and a second Talon Strike. Miss and miss. 13 and 16 against AC respectively. And it's Zesh. It is your turn.
Well, I'm going to keep it taunted. I'm going to keep my shield raised, since that's doing a lot of work. And I do feel a little bad about what we're doing, if I have to be honest. So I'm actually going to just try to, since one of my hands is free, I'm just punching it. Just trying to give it a roundhouse across the jaw. And we'll see if that's any more effective than the weapons I've been using. No, apparently not. But that is my turn.
That was reapply the taunt, punch, and what was the third action?
Re-raise the shield
Re-raise the
and
shield. Got
one.
it. Yep. Okay. Can you press the taunt button? I'm having to scroll further and further
Oh, yeah,
to
I'm
find
sorry.
it again to apply.
Yeah, no problem.
And then Brayshaw.
I do have it in the macro bar. It is this one.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if we're still planning to take this thing down, we need to do it efficiently. I will take an action right now to try and recall knowledge upon the hippogriff. Just specifically trying to eke out any sort of weakness it might have, if it's over one type of damage or another. What skill would that be to
Nature.
discern? Nature.
And I'll give a +1 bonus because you were looking at books on them earlier today.
All right, I'll add that there.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely know these are hippogriffs. That's not a surprise to you. You already read that they are extremely territorial and fiercely protective of their lands. You know that their hunting habits are dangerous to ranchers and their livestock because they often carry off sheep, goats, things of that nature. But you were trying to remember things about damage type specifically. You know they're just a regular animal. No specific weaknesses or resistances along those lines. In place of that, I will let you know their weakest save is will.
All right. Well, I have not a lot of spells that attack the mind, so instead I will continue with the damaging spells that I have at my disposal. Which means, at the risk of seeming predictable, I will once again attempt to set this thing on fire with another ignition spell.
And a 17 is going to miss.
River is over there and the time is ticking. I'm going to utilize that hero point I just received.
Still a
for
miss.
not.
Okay. River, give me another d20 roll, looking for a 13 or better this time.
Let's go.
So you would become dying 2 at this point. You've improved 1 step. The one at the nest does nothing. Isaac?
Okay, let's try something here. Since everybody's having trouble, we're going to try to reduce this as much as possible. He is going to attempt an intimidate check against it to demoralize, as he's decent at these two. Just pull that out real quick. Okay.
That is a
18.
success. It is now frightened 1.
Okay, and as it seems frightened, he goes to do another dirty trick on it here to try to knock it off balance before he tries to go in for a finisher.
And you aren't the swashbuckler type that would have actually got the panache off the demoralize, right? You're not a...
No, I do him through dirty tricks.
Okay.
Well, we got a 2, but we get panache even on the... So we go for the confident finisher. He is trying to end this before anything horrible happens to River here as he sees her lying on the ground.
That is a critical hit, thanks to the demoralize.
Well, this is going to be a good one. Come on.
Ooh.
32 points of damage.
And that one falls dead.
As it kind of rears back as he intimidates it, he just drives the sword straight up through its neck and starts immediately turning towards where River is to move, but we're out of actions this turn.
And that one kind of begins much more like a hawk, kind of mantling and screeching, but also like a bucking horse, stamping its feet up and down. It's looks like it's enraged or something is going on over there. Zesh.
Well, that one's been put down. I suppose it's time to head this way. So 5, 15, 20... 25 is a stride to there. And then how much further is this one? Actually, and this one's on the ground, actually?
It is standing over the nest.
Okay. So I suppose I can take a 2-action activity to move. No, I can't because that's the way math works. Okay, well, I guess I will stride twice and raise my shield, but didn't have the actions to taunt this round.
Brayshaw.
All right. Well,
But I am the closest to the nest that's conscious, so
Yes.
presumably I'm still the biggest threat.
I think the shock of watching Isaac do what he does best to this hippogriff has shocked Brayshaw's brain into remembering some things. He is going to advance to sort of between where he is and where Zesh is, just getting you inside those wards, and just muttering to himself, "Idiot, idiot! Of course they're weak-willed. I will target the other of these hippogriffs on the ground, and I will attempt to befuddle him."
Okay. I will roll its will save.
30 feet.
That is a failure.
Yeah.
So it is clumsy
Nice.
2 and stupefied 2. Looks like for 1 round. So on your turn, those would drop back off. But yeah, maybe it settles down.
Yes.
Maybe it it's rearing and stomping, and maybe it caught itself with 1 foot, almost landing on its own eggs. So it's kind of settled down a little. It's shaking. It can tell something is wrong, and it doesn't know what it is. It's looking around. Maybe it's looking for its mate and not being able to see where he is, and maybe forgetting for the second that he's been killed. And that was your turn. River, we
Yes.
need another flat check from you. DC 12.
Let's see. Ooh.
You are stable. That does not
Well
mean
done.
you wake up, but it does mean you are, 1 hit point, so you haven't woken up, but you do not need to make new saves every round. You're basically, it might be a little less exciting on each turn until you get healed, but you are not in danger of dying. The one there, though,
I'll take it.
what was that?
I said I'll take it.
Yeah. The one there is going to, I guess, maybe slightly kind of drunkenly is maybe how it's showing up with the befuddle and the confused and the stupefied and clumsy, kind of stumble over towards Zesh and is going to bite at you with a 20 against AC, which I believe, yeah, that's just a regular miss, and it's not because of this. It's a strength-based attack, so clumsy is not affecting its attack.
Because of the wards. Thank you,
Because of
Brayshaw.
the ward, yes, it is. It will
Happy to
then
be of service.
try 1 talon as well, and miss with that. Isaac.
Okay, seeing as the way this is going, he's going to rush forward, a double action to get on the other side from Zesh. Can't do any fancy setup this turn, but he does a strike towards it with the Eldori sword. And in his rush, trips and slips and almost impales himself. The wild turn from the crit to the crit.
Yep. Okay. You are flanking a hippogriff on the ground
That I am.
with an
So
unconscious
I will
river
taunt
next
it.
to you.
No. I will taunt it. I will raise my shield. And I will. Well, do I do the risky thing? I think I'll take one attack with my shield boss. So let's do that. No, well,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
Taunt, raise, and miss. Brayshaw.
All right. Well, I'm going to rush over here next to Zesh, just on the opposite side. I think that just doesn't get Isaac in there. Apologies. I'm sure you're doing fine. And I'm going to, with my second action, or second and third, produce the one potion that I have with me, and I am going to feed that to River. This is just a simple healing potion. I think that's not going to go. Yes, there it is. River, please take this. I pour it into your mouth, or wherever you receive the best photosynthesis.
And River, you are now conscious. You are prone.
I mean,
you are next to the nest and next to the creature.
Stuck into my head. But, it's fine. I'm going to get up and then move out behind the big mister with the shield. All right, get him. And hit him with a fire impulse. One action fire impulse.
7 will miss.
Well, I'm definitely not doing very well today.
And it is up next. And it would still be... Oh no, Brayshaw had the turn, so the stupefied and clumsy drop off.
Yes.
Those were 1 round only. And it still taunted though, so it is going to go for Zesh with a initial bite. With a 23 will hit you, even with the wards and the raised shield, for 11 points of damage.
Alright. I'm gonna block that, but that's hurts a bit more.
Shield is damaged for 5. Okay. It has 2 actions left. It's not been touched yet, so I think it's going to keep on defending its nest. So a Talon is going to come towards Zesh, and is going to crit. Natural 20 for a 25 against AC for 16 points of damage. Are you dying too? Or you have 1 HP?
I am in fact dying too.
Okay. Let me put that on you. And your initiative moves to right before it. It has 1 action left, and it is going to flap its wing at River, because it is still mad at River, and this has 10-foot reach. I think it's going to technically be off guard, though, because it's ignoring its taunt, even if you're unconscious. So that's going to miss, but it will be off guard. Isaac.
Okay, the combo worked last time. We're going to attempt it this time as well. He's going to start with a demoralize. Again, with the flat of the blade, he's going to try to smack it across the back of the head. Oh, not going to do it. We'll go for the dirty trick on it to give myself some panache. With that, he kind of tries to draw some blood to make it hard for it to see.
That will be a success this time.
So it'll be clumsy 1.
That's only... Oh, yes. As critical. Yep. Not as failure. Got it. You have panache, and it's clumsy 1 after 1 round,
and
automatically.
Goes for the strike.
And because of the clumsy 1, that got it to hit. Between the flank and the clumsy 1. Last time it was the demoralize.
17 points of damage.
Oof. Yeah, that hurt it a lot. And that was your 3. Brayshaw.
Oh, crap. I don't have any more of those. All right. Well, we'll deal with the creature first. I've seen what Isaac and Zesh are doing, so I'll move over here to flank the creature, also getting Isaac in the wards. I will then target the hippogriff, and once again, I will try to set it on fire. Perhaps if we cook this enough, this one too will fall.
9 will miss.
Those 2s.
Never been much of a scrapper.
River.
Big guy, I was going to use this on myself, but you had to go and get taken down, so here we go. She pulls out a elixir of life and pours it down Zesh's stomach. This is the last of the 3 that I bought. And of course you get nearly full out of it. Stand up.
You
All
have
right,
1 action left, River, right? 1 to pull it out, 1 to administer.
Yeah, I'm going to use probably an elemental blast. I have fire impulse on the hippogriff. Why am I missing?
12 will miss. Zesh.
Right, well, Zesh will take an action, kind of stand up, just put one leg right in front of the other, take another action to raise his shield, and as his third action, he will taunt the hippogriff, saying, I don't have anywhere else to be, and just kind of stand there.
Okay. So yeah, and so I guess we know shields are strapped. Do you have to regrip it though after you've fallen to be able to raise it? I think I haven't required that in the past, so I think I'll allow it as is.
Yeah, I guess I was assuming it was kind of strapped to my arm and just kind of...
I know there's been some
like
debates back and forth on this a lot, but yeah, I'll be good with that. You don't need to spend the
Okay.
action to... Strapped should be different than not strapped, but it still does need to use the hand up. So as long as you're not saying that you have something else in that hand, I'm okay with this.
The hand, that hand is purely for the shield.
Got it. Okay. So it is up next, and you've taunted it a second time, or maybe a third or fourth time, but here comes the bite. That is a 24 against AC, which will hit you again. For very high damage this time. It might be sending you right back down.
Yeah, I think it's going to be send me back down regardless of blocking or not, so I won't, and just go back to...
Back to
Dying.
down 2. Because you were
Yep.
wounded 1. Your initiative does not need to move. You're already right before it. It has 2 actions left. So, I think Isaac hit it the worst. So it's going to go for Isaac here with a Talon,
Yep.
which will
He'll try to
prolong
dodge out of
the
the way.
off guard. Natural 20
No, it doesn't matter.
for 10 points.
Yeah, we're down.
You're at dying 2 as well? Yes. Put those on you. Your initiative moves right before it. And it has 1 action left. We will send the wing at River as a third map attack. And that will miss with a total of 1 against AC. Brayshaw, you see half your party is on the ground. 3/4 of your party has been on the ground. What do you do?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know the hippogriff is also quite injured. I will try to continue just defeating this thing. I mean, unless I see River start picking someone up and running away, I'll try to grab the other person. But let's see what I can do to actually cook and defeat this hippogriff. Another ignition. Perhaps a successful one this time. That would be nice. A 21.
21 will hit.
Be done, you horse bird.
That way, you have 1 action.
I've one action left. I'm just trying to think of what I can do with it. Normally I'm assisting my ally. Oh god, everyone's down. I think I made mention of this once upon a time. Where if I start striking with this staff, we're in very bad shape indeed. I don't even have this weapon drawn. Pardon me 1 second while I would have had this ready to have the very poor choice of breaking with
A map attack
this
with the staff. And that will miss by quite a bit.
unsurprising.
River.
River's like, alright, that's probably a bad idea, but she's going to shift over here and target it with a flying flame. Give me a basic reflex save.
Okay. It will success, so it would take half damage.
Here's the D8.
Okay, that was a whole turn from
Yeah,
you.
that-
Zesh, give me your death save or your recovery roll. You're looking for a 12 or better. You're a dying 3.
Ooh.
A 2 would have been a death without a hero point, so that was good. Isaac, you are also looking
worry.
for a 12 or better. Yes.
We'll run that back because I don't have the hero point. Let's see here.
If only there was.
Does it have the recovery
someone
check
really-
button here?
I think if we end turn,
Yeah, there's a
actually,
button.
it will do it. Did it do it? There it is. When I hit end turn... No, I don't see it on yours. I don't know why
No,
we got
there's
it.
the
Zesh got
button
one.
to roll a recovery check is under your hit points or temporary HP.
Oh, I
There's
see
a
it.
D20 there.
Huh?
Hey, we're not dead
You've
yet.
also recovered 1 step. You now cannot die from 1 roll.
We can
And
do it in 2, maybe.
it is up next. And it is going to Yeah. It's going to smack a wing at River and then start flying away. It missed with that strike against River. And it is now flying away. It is barely keeping aloft as it flies. It is extremely injured and almost dead. It did not want to leave its nest, but at this point, it knows it has very little hope. Brayshaw.
All right, well, it's leaving, and I'm not going to do anything to encourage it to stay. I am instantly going through all of my belongings, looking for something to stabilize Zesh, but I don't seem to have anything. I'm not certain what you've got in your inventory, Zesh, but I may start rummaging through your pockets as well.
There is, in fact, an elixir that Zesh has at his belt that you find fairly quickly if you're kind of looking at the most obvious places.
Yes, I would certainly use that on you. I don't know what additional actions that may take all three of my actions.
Let's say all three, yeah. If you had known where it was ahead of time, it would have just been the two, but having to search for it, we'll call it three.
Right. Right, so I know I can't get into your inventory, but feel free to use that on yourself. Oh.
I will take it.
Minimum healing, but given that you were dying 3, you're now wounded 2 and no longer dying. And we're up to River's turn. Isaac is still dying, so we're still in initiative for that reason.
River's like, all right, well, let's see what you got. She's going to root through his pockets to find anything he might have on him to heal.
There's nothing. You find a bunch of nice clothing he's stuffed into his backpack. He's got a really nice compass in.
In a fit of rage, she sets the clothing on fire and throws it into the bushes. How dare you not bring healing potions?
Zesh.
Right, well, I'm going to pick myself up, stand up as a first action. I quickly survey the area. I don't see... Well, I see it not near us. I'm not going to wonder what happened. River seems fine. You know, if she's burning clothes, she's probably fine. Brayshaw is right next to me. I'm pretty clear that I fed me the potion or elixir, so get a quick free action thank you there. Second action, Zesh will move over to here. And let me just check something. Okay, I've got some good news and some bad news. So Isaac, do you want the good news first or the bad news first?
Dealer's choice.
Okay, well, the bad news is administer first aid is a 2-action activity. And I've already used 2 actions. The good news is that Zesh has some training as a field medic and does have battle medicine. So let's give this a shot. So the second, that's the bad news. We're back to bad news.
Do you have a hero?
The good news is Zesh still has 1 hero point left because we didn't have to use that yet.
Because
this island wants us dead.
would have pushed you to dying 2, and instead you will be healed just barely.
There we go. Ooh. I've suddenly become one of the more healthy people in the group. As he kind of like coughs and sputters as he wakes up, and he looks over at the smoldering pile of clothes, and he's like, "When did they get fire?"
We will end the encounter here.
Workplace accident.
And we also are at the halfway point, so we will take a short 5-minute break, and we'll pick things up right after this. And welcome back from our short break. The party just successfully drove off the second of the 2 hippogriffs and has stabilized everyone. Most of the party is still quite injured, and they are a good 2 hours away from their vessel. What are you doing?
River's going to be like, all right, can we heal up, like, again? Zesh, give me another try. I know I'm a plant, but come on. You can at least patch me up.
I need to take care of myself first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, but like, you know.
I'll help gather up the eggs in the meantime and refocus.
We still have the sledge, yes?
You do.
Did we take it back with us?
That's a good question. Did you bring it with you, or were you planning to just carry eggs and move faster without a sledge?
I think that the latter was my thought. I figured we would. I was assuming we'd take a couple eggs, but I suppose if we can take 1 egg per person, that's still...
Each take 1. Yep.
Well, My bag is destroyed, but I can carry it.
Yeah, if you had some fine clothes, I'm sure you could put together a bag. But
So how
I can
long
burn the
are you
rest of your
going to
clothes.
spend patching up? You have roughly an hour of slop time in your schedule, at most. And you are roughly 2 hours out of those. So you have 3 hours until you're supposed to be back. You know 2 hours are travel.
well, at this point, I think battle medicine for those that can still get it is somewhat prudent. I think first I'm gonna try it on myself, but if I critically fail, I think I'm up the proverbial creek without a paddle. So I'm going to pray to my ancestors that I don't muck this up a little bit, and we'll give it a go. But
crit fail.
battle medicine was not effective.
You can still battle medicine both River and Brayshaw
That is correct.
without consuming appreciable amounts of time.
Correct. So let's try River. No, on the nose.
You just got that one. So 2d8 of healing, 10 points of healing to River.
All right. And then
Thanks, dog.
for Brayshaw, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a doctor. It's more of an amateur hobby situation.
Well, you still may be the most skilled on this island.
And for Brayshaw,
Was
well, at
hovering
least
on
it
that
wasn't the
one.
one,
It
so-
was hovering on that one. So no healing for Brayshaw. I believe everyone in the party is now immune to battle medicine for 24 hours.
That's correct.
So you could
I
still
would
treat
like
wounds.
to take 10 minutes to try to treat wounds myself, since I had a 1.
And does anyone else have medicine that wants to be doing this in parallel?
I believe the answer is no.
Okay.
I'm
Yes, I
untrained.
guess no.
Yeah, no.
Before I attempt to do this myself, I'm trying to figure out which of the 3 of them is most apt to try to administer first aid. Should I completely pooch my medicine roll and cut myself while bandaging myself and say, okay, here are my bandages. Push on where I'm bleeding and push it hard and keep it there. And after whoever got my that quick primer, I think it was directed at anyone that was willing to listen. I will
Brayshaw are
attempt to
tied.
treat my own wounds.
Yeah.
River's like, if
Yep.
you want to lose a limb, sure.
There it is. Flat.
On the nose. 3 points back.
Well,
But at least
Yeah.
that does clear your wounded.
Oh, that's a good point.
And I don't think anyone else's wounded gets cleared, though. So,
no. I think we need to limp back as is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just another 10 minutes per attempt if you'd like it. If I do take 2 more attempts, then we're at half an hour of slop.
Let's
As opposed to
hobble
the-
on, and you can do it along the way. How about that? I'd like to get
it
at
takes
least this
it takes
far.
10 minutes stationary to try it. So that's the trade-off. It's not like the refocus that it just once every 10 minutes you get to do something. So
Oh, okay.
I mean, Zesh, I'm worried that we haven't had the greatest luck here, that something bad might happen on this next one. And
That is fair. Oh, can I rewind just a little bit? While I was treating my own wounds, I would have asked if Brayshaw was gracious enough to beat these dents out of my shield.
do you have
I
do you have a
could-
repair kit?
I do have a repair kit, yes.
And I can take a crafting check to repair on that while that's going on.
Okay. Would that be open or
Yeah, open is fine.
hidden? All right.
I think it was a DC 13, so I think that is a failure. It's a level 0 item, right?
That's correct.
That's either a 13 or a 14. I don't remember which. I know it's not a 12.
That's
Dang,
fine.
Actually, let me look it up just to be sure. I'm doing it off of memory. DCs by level.
My
Level
recollection is
0
14.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just missed it. So couldn't figure out how to repair the shield, and your health is in the low kind of 1/4 or less of your total health. River's in the best shape. Isaac and Brayshaw look like they're about half health each. And sounds like it's deciding to start working your way back, and maybe as you get closer you'll feel more willing to take another 10 minutes to rest, but you want to at least make some progress back toward your vessel is what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Yes. Let's just get off this island.
That's accurate.
Are you doing...
everyone grab an egg.
Are you trying to look for faster paths back than what you took initially? What is your Or do you want to stay on the path you took because you know there was nothing along that path? What is your thought process on trying to get back from where you are?
Zesh wants to be cautious. He feels fairly beat up because he is, and just his goal is to make it back, and the entire group to make it back preferably. So doesn't care.
River would say, let's head back to the tower. Use the path back.
Okay.
Yes, I think that is the most
That's a good
direct
waypoint. Yeah.
route.
And so it sounds like generally following the way you got here, even if you thought the way you came here was maybe a little circuitous at a few points, you know you have the time to deal with that, and that's a known path, so you're not going to get trapped by an unexpected chasm or something else, or run into any other creatures unless they're mobile and patrolling. Okay.
Yeah, familiar path would be probably better here.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another... I'll still take a survival check from the people leading the way. So this is more on the flavor of, since you already knew the path, but this is kind of keeping an eye out, almost more the scout style things. There was one point partway back where you heard some sort of movement, and you managed to kind of just stop, let whatever it was pass. If you want to investigate those tracks, you can, or if you just want to press on past that, you can do that as well.
Nope.
Let's not test our luck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a glance at them as we pass.
Sure.
Can I do nature against
Yes,
them?
you can.
Okay. Not going to bend down and study them for very long. Just kind of glance at them to see if I can recognize them immediately.
It looks like some sort of hoofed animal. You're not sure what, though, in the quick passing glance.
Remind me, did the hippogriffs have hooves?
They had rear hooves and front talons. And these look smaller than that. And all hooved. You don't see any sign of claws.
So like a goat, potentially? Like that, on that order
Goat,
of...
sheep, something of that small horse. Anything along those lines would be a believable...
Yeah. Going to completely convey. Yeah, small hooves. It's not a hippogriff, so it's not following us. Or looking for us, I don't think. So she's going to, kind of move on.
Okay. And so, it takes about the slightly more than an hour, as you knew, to get back to the tower from where you were. You think you have, all told, maybe 40 minutes remaining, 30 minutes of slop before you have to, you still have about the hour journey, so you're still fine. Anything you want to do at the tower, or are you just heading straight back again to the boat?
Well, that 30 minutes of slop does give us a chance for 3 medicine checks here if we want, since an hour of travel has meant that treat wounds is available once again. So Zesh would bring that up to the party, but is not going to press the issue.
I think I'm okay with Zesh giving it a try. From here is an easier path. We already have it burned away.
And how many of those checks did you want to take here? One for the 3 injured people, one for each wounded person with the capital W wounded trait, one for Zesh because he's lowest. How many of these are you wanting to use?
I think at least for Zesh to try himself, and then I think if he fails again, he might just decide that it's not worth continuing.
If you succeed, get Isaac, but after that...
Yeah, sure. I mean, you and Isaac can...
I'm mostly
rock,
fine.
paper, scissors or something, or however you want. And if Zesh is taking the time to pull out the bandages, he'll once again go to Brayshaw and say, look, I believe in you. I think you'll figure it out. You're a bright guy.
Yes.
In terms of the crafting. But first, here's the medicine for Zesh on himself. Okay.
16
I'll take the
against
opportunity
15.
Much better.
And I'll attempt to
Repair again, and
bang
that
on
will
some of those
repair
bits.
it. I believe it's just 5 points at this level with the repair action without any bonuses. So I think that repairs.
Well, that's how much damage you took. So
Okay, that's perfect. So yeah, you've patched up a little bit more. And are you doing one more set of 10 minutes on Isaac, or are you heading back to the ship?
it's up to the group.
I say get
I
Isaac
feel
because he's
well
a frontliner, and he's also wounded.
All right, lie down.
He lays down, and
You know the
I
drill.
looked up the repair too. Also, I think it would be 10.
Okay.
You get +5. You get 5 per proficiency rank. So 10 if you're trained, 15 if
Got
you're
it.
expert.
Okay. Sounds like he only needed 5 anyways, so but the 10 is good to know.
But
So we're at, I guess we're at the
Here
tower
we
now, so I'll
are.
put you back on that map. Just to keep track of what where we are. Oh, I put you on the wrong map.
We're just threading that needle.
Yeah.
There we are.
Quite proficient at that. Just putting in exactly enough.
Okay. So you've patched up people.
Ah,
You've
well,
now.
but I think I did remove your wounded condition,
You
which was the
did.
goal. The 2 hit points, that's a bonus.
And you have.
I feel like I'm putting in the minimum effort required to do this wound treating. Like I hit the DC on the nose. You got snake eyes on the damage, but
We're
the
just here for
wounded is gone.
ragamuffins.
So mission accomplished.
And so you resume your trek back to the vessel at this point. You arrive, as I said, about 10 minutes before you were expected or required to be back. You can see the captain was looking nervous, and you do notice that the sack that was holding the remains of the creature has been brought on board. It is it the gunwale? The edge of the ship, so it could be thrown over if it starts doing anything at all. He seems like he still doesn't trust it, but he does think you are all right, that we need to research this and understand it better. He glances over at how bedraggled you all look relative to when you were here just after lunch, and it's good to see that you're all alive. What happened out there?
Hippogriff.
Beaks,
They,
hooves, wings.
Was
Ouch.
your mission a
Pain.
success
Helen.
at least?
He's holding up an egg. I don't know.
Yes.
Do you think this can make an omelet or?
Well, I believe your intent was to try to raise these, right? So I think an omelet would be very defeating of the purpose here.
But no, you misheard.
Okay.
River was planning to raise in flame.
Oh,
You're not very good at this whole humor thing, are you?
no, I'm sorry, I am not.
It's all right. Yes, we're going to hatch them. So I can either keep the eggs warm or the food cold. Which one do you want?
I would say the food cold. We wouldn't want an egg hatching before we get home.
We
my
still want them
feeling on the
viable
matter.
though, so keep them around body heat. So she's gonna crawl into the hole and just kind of lay next to the food and just start using her kinesis, basic kinesis, to lower the temperature around her. She can just draw in the heat.
Okay, so you're slightly chilling the hold to help keep all the vegetables you have gathered from perishing. And maybe you're keeping the eggs maybe topside in the sun, or at least with people surrounding them to keep them a little warm. And the captain, cuts the ropes holding the javelins in. They don't seem to have a good way to pull them back out and get back on the ship at the same time. It's another thing they want to look into for the next expedition, things they need to improve, such as also all of the supplies they need to bring with them. The voyage back is, on the captain and crew's side, rather exuberant. They feel this has been a successful mission. The hold is filled of chopped lumber and a couple yards worth of topsoil. And then there's the small amounts of books and vegetables and eggs that you've all found that could also greatly change the trajectory of the nation. While the crops aren't enough necessarily to make a difference this year, it does feel, with husbandry and care, this will add multiple new types of vegetables and grains into the diet. And if the hippogriffs work out, again, that might take a number of years to raise them and breed them, but this could be a secondary support to the airships that they're building. It took them 3 years to build the one that you are flying on now, and this was its maiden voyage other than its test flight. And while they want to build more, it feels like it's going to take 2 or 3 more trips like this one to gather enough wood to do that in the first place. So this is a long-term effort in any way. What would you do when you arrive back home?
So I think River is going to go check in with her contacts at the construction guild and be like, if we do that again, can I go? It's a lot better than staying here all the time.
And as you had kind of said, for your character, she is seen as a little bit of a scrappier, maybe maybe slightly getting in the way. So it does seem like they are all thrilled that you have found something that you want to do more of and maybe get you out of their own hair. It does feel like maybe your fire was used a little bit too often at times on work sites and burned some of the otherwise salvageable timber and lumber or furniture. So it does seem like they are happy to hear this. Of course, they all say that in very
don't
kind
throw-
ways, but
Yeah. Don't throw a party. Jesus. All right. Yeah. I found something to do. It won't be burning things.
they do look at you
It
and
will
say,
be burning
but
things.
are you okay? I don't remember you having all those scars before.
It's just I had a disagreement with a griffin or hippogriff. One of those flying bird critters.
They kind of nod, but you can
fine.
tell that they have no idea really what you meant. But they're just going to nod. What's everyone else doing while this is going on?
Yeah,
I think
Isaac
after-
is. Oh, go ahead, Rishaw.
Well, I was simply going to, after I had directed whatever was needed to off of the airship, I was going to seek out Seb and get back in contact with him and with the Mages Guild.
Yeah, so you would find him. He is still hard at work. He's out in the middle of what's called the Scar. It's a portion of the island that eroded heavily and was kind of a long crack coming back from one of the rims toward the city. That's one of the main places the mages go almost daily to cast Wall of Stone or other things to patch it up. So he's out there still doing that kind of work. He's already used his spells for the day, but at this point he is just surveying, seeing what spot needs it the most next, possibly walking all the way out to the rim, and, if there's no desperate place that needs patching up, can they extend the rim a little bit further away? There's another place where they've been working on building up a smaller reservoir that would stop the runoff from the water that's causing a lot of the erosion and trying to make a bigger water tank effectively. And he will turn to you with a little bit of a shock and good to see you made it back. Looks like you had a rough time out there. What
Yes, I'm glad to be back.
did you learn anything?
Quite a bit. We've retrieved several volumes of various instructional texts, knowledges that will make an impact both in the short term and the long. We've also we managed to, I know Gesture to all his wounds are still kind of bandaged up. We've also managed to procure, I believe, 4 hippogriff eggs.
Those could be useful. Could they hatch and be tameable and breedable?
That's our hope as well, yes. I've
That-
also got several volumes on how to do exactly that. Quite a few books specifically on raising animals, both some that we have here on the island and others that we haven't found yet.
That sounds good for the island. Anything to help us, Mage Guild? We've been declining, as you know.
Well, nothing in terms of gaining numbers, but there is an item. It's back on the ship. I don't know what we can learn from it, but I think we can learn something from it. And Brayshaw will explain to him the encounter they had with those spherical devices with the purple smoke that came out upon their death.
Now that is most interesting. There were hypotheses before that another mage had created those small spherical workers, observers, something. They were not thought at the time to be the source of the problem. That maybe the first thing to succumb to the invaders. This might tell us more about the original creator, but I do not know if it will tell us more about the invaders themselves. It is worth researching. I'm glad you found something. I do not know when we'll find the time, but good job. And going over to
Thank you, Ted.
Zesh or Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac was. I think Isaac is a little bit of a loner in between his job. He is a courier in the city, using his dexterity and acrobatic skills to kind of make his way through quicker than most might. But as he kind of gets back, you see he reaches into one of the side pockets that River maybe didn't see on his, and pulls with one last pair of the fine clothing out that he managed to salvage from the place, and kind of holds it up in the light and goes, it's about the finer things.
So
And you
just
see he
so
kind of
describe
opens
that
up a
outfit. So
little thing.
what would be the one outfit you hid away most carefully?
Yeah, it was maybe something strikingly different, I think, than what he is normally wearing. Well, it still is a nice, fine regalia, it is, instead of the black and red that he normally kind of wears. It is a almost emerald green with some almost yellowish to maybe golden thread kind of embossing along the edges and the stitching. I think maybe it might have some imagery of leaves and other bits of the forest that maybe this researcher or mage had been previously interested in. But I think he kind of like takes it and brings it over to his closet and has you see he reaches towards the back and flips open a little hidden compartment in the back where he stashes away his more valuable things that he likes to keep hidden. And you can see there's maybe a couple other sets of clothes in there and things like that. He kind of puts it away, puts his hand on it, and well, all these scars weren't for nothing, I guess. Maybe others got something a little more robust to bring back to them, but this will do for me. And he closes it and puts it away for now, before kind of, I think, crashing into his bed and falling asleep for a full day.
And how about Zesh?
Zesh is gonna head back to the Protectors Guild headquarters, which is basically just a hole in the wall that, as far as Zesh can tell, he's the only occupant inhabitant of. Kind of, there's on the chalkboard, there's a bit of a tally board for like favor exchange, and on the favor owed from category, he would write Isaac with a little bit of a parenthetical note of, pretty sure I saved his life. He looked pretty rough. And then the favors owed to column would put down Brayshaw under the saved, pretty sure he saved me. Also, he fixed my shield. And kind of stare at the notes he made on that little bit of a chalkboard, kind of with his hands on his hips, kind of nod, and then find a couch or flat surface, maybe just like a hay bed to lie down on and get some rest.
And that is where the scenario will end. Now, before I start asking for feedback on this, I do want to share a couple of my thoughts ahead of time. So obviously, the Hippogriff fight went differently than I had maybe planned, and I know that was a little more deadly. The other aspect, I had a possible of 3 encounters to pull from for today. However, I also noticed too late that all 3 were very similar. So that's one reason why I wasn't forcing one of them to happen as well. There was the rams that you could have tracked and dealt with, and that was meant. Well, I'll go over all. So there was the rams. There was also a pair of boars, and then there was the pair of hippogriffs. And the hippogriffs, I think, were the strongest of these 3. That was a severe encounter. I think the rams were moderate, and the boars were also close to a severe, but not quite as rough, in my opinion. They might have done more damage per hit, but they had lower to hits type of stuff. I don't like that all 3 were kind of they were all pairs. I wish there was more variety there. Again, that's why I didn't push one of them more than the others. They were all meant to be some level of going for different fights, different types of things, but maybe non-lethal, knock them out, trust them up, bring some of them back, or even a non-combat based corral and at least for the rams, maybe that's the closest to a domesticatable directly. The boars might have been tougher, but could have maybe been that way. And then, of course, the hippogriffs were non-tameable themselves, but had the eggs. So they were all variations on kind of the same theme of wanting, ideally, a non-combat solution to emerge, but combat being the fallback situation. And you were getting close on the hippogriffs. I really wanted one more contribution outside of what River was doing. Like River's approaches to scare them off was working and was reasonable, but again, I felt I needed something else from someone else in the party to either back that up or change it around or do something. to go beyond just threatening them when you're trying to steal their eggs. So that is why that one fell into combat at some point. There were some fails, crit fails, all that kind of stuff going on as well. The dice were just not having it. And the other meta ideas that I've had. So 2 things I want to bring up before I hear all your thoughts. One, I think for the scoping, I suspect this would work better as probably a 2 or 3 day voyage to the island. And able to do a little bit more scouting and retreat, come back to your base, repeat that a little bit, gain some knowledge. I think that would probably fit better. I'll need to think how to make that work in terms of the lore of the world, of being the first vessel. Are they still scared of losing it or not? How big a cargo hold actually in the vessel makes sense. So how much can they bring back? That's another reason why I was making it a short trip. It's like, it's not a huge vessel. They can't bring tons of stuff back. So multi-days didn't make sense. So I'll need to rethink all of that whenever I want to actually run this for real. And the other bit, it was intentionally almost entirely animals. And I don't love animal fights. I always feel guilty making players fight animals that are just protecting their home, protecting their young. So I know that can feel bad. I didn't want this being another faction right away, so I didn't want to have humans here. And I did throw in the 2 kind of constructs that are hinting at the underlying problem, but I don't want that to be the main story at this point anyways. So I don't want to make that be the big thing. So the insects, I feel, of course, those just work. You can have an insect fight. People don't feel bad about killing insects. But I do acknowledge that there were a lot of animal fights. You only saw one of them, but there were 3 other ones queued up that could have happened. So that's where I'm standing on my thoughts having run this 2-week session. Things I want to tweak. I'm still happy with the overall idea of it, but I can tell there are some weaknesses to shore up. How did it feel to you all today?
Well, I loved it, and if you ever do as like a stream game, I am so there. I'll even bring River. I kind of like her, despite my misgivings about not having very many skills to use. She's really fun. I think on the notion of stuff you could have brought into the island to have like more encounters. If this was like a video game, I guess what I would expect to happen here is in like Fallout, you come into a structure, there's like a story that's happened there. And there's almost one here. What I mean is like we could have followed along that nobleman trying to like get the few survivors on the island together to like get more of a holdout than they had. Or perhaps like even like turn that into like he found something and something kind of amazing, and have us have intrigue and follow along his journey to this amazing thing. And that would even like give us a really easy like path to follow, because if we're following his steps, then maybe along that way stuff have moved in, so you can have those other encounters as well. I know he went off to the Griffins, but that's kind of the last we heard of him. We didn't find a body along the way.
True.
Yeah, I think there could be something there. I really liked the that whole kind of like storyline, as River was saying too. If there was something that tied into it, maybe you don't find him. Maybe you find a skeleton or something. Maybe that leads you into something else that killed him and not the hippogriffs. But yeah, I agree with that part. It was interesting. I like seeing those tie-ins.
Zesh or
yeah, I think there's definitely some mysteries in the island that we didn't really. Obviously, we don't have the time to fully investigate. But like, where did the 2 I forget what arbiters or
I would not consider them arbiters in world here, but yes, that was their base item.
Right. The observers, yeah. So kind of wondering where those came from, what happened to the homesteader. I mean, we believe that the noble or whoever from the tower went to investigate the hippogriffs, but we're not sure what happened to homesteader.
The homesteader, you saw the dead body on the bed inside the cabin.
Right. But if it was just the one,
yeah,
or right, but we didn't know why they died and just why they were on the bed.
I didn't find out until later that she was just trying to survive on her own. And we found that out in the Noble's cabin.
Yes.
From a kind of the way how the encounters went perspective, it was definitely attrition in the sense of I think the party healing was whatever potions or alchemy we could afford, plus my character trained in medicine with battle medicine, so we were, we didn't enter the hippogriff fight fully healed, kind of due to time limits and whatnot. And when you go into a fight at 19 of 23 and then you get brought exactly to 0 the first time, it's like well, darn it, little bit of regret of not getting in fully healed, but that's how it can go, I guess.
Level 1 combat.
Oh yeah. That that is a severe encounter. 2 level 2s against you, so that's expected to be tough. Initial thoughts from you, Brayshaw?
I mean, I definitely enjoyed both of these sessions. The whole world that's been introduced just in this, I think, is fantastic. As far as I know you said like a lot of the encounters you had set up felt very samey, but because we only hit one of them, like it didn't have that feel at all.
Oh yeah. I know that because I didn't. But that was one reason why I was also willing to end it after one encounter today, rather than doing a second encounter and maybe going right to the normal end time. But
yeah, but I almost, as you said, like there's only so many things even if we had the time, that you can or would want to introduce here. And it sounds like like there's the history of the people that were on this island, what became of them. There's the wildlife. There's the arbiters, the servitors, whatever those things were, which actually felt like a very sort of like devious undercurrent planning thing when I brought that up with Seb. I thought that was kind of fun. They thought the Mage Guild has like something that they're like, can suddenly be chomping at the bit over, instead of going out and casting Wall of Stone every day. But I mean, in terms of like other encounters, the only other thing I just thought of off the top of my head is like this is a decaying civilization, so to speak. Like like our island is making do with what it can, and repurposing resources and such. This island, or at least the part that we landed on, apparently just died out. So I mean, there could have been like just natural like hazards, like collapsing buildings, things like that. I mean, luckily nothing came down around our ears, so that I'm fine that we didn't die in a avalanche. But I just thought like things like that could be out there somewhere, and maybe they are. Like maybe that's a higher level thing to come back if this island circles back around, or winds up, in some kind of like with our island.
And so, coming back to one of the things I said at the start, how would you all have felt differently about the story if it had been a 2-day, 1 night, or 3-day, 2-night type expedition? Would that have changed the way you think this would have felt?
I would
for
have
sure.
felt a lot less rushed.
Okay.
If we had another day to just explore around, I probably would have took a different path going to the tower the second time. Like along that river, for example, that had the spooky fog, just to see what was there.
And how would you... I guess that's hearing from one of you. Let's hear from the other ones.
Yeah, I think I probably would have enjoyed it a little more, just as I would have felt I could do and see more with it. But I very much enjoyed the limited time anyway. If anything, I think maybe an overnight would be safer, in the sense of, if it's an overnight trip, maybe there's a little more resources with the ship, a surgeon or someone who can help with healing, to where if the party really kind of gets stymied, they can at least go back and recoup there, where it's a time loss and not necessarily we kind of can't really do anything, we need to get going now idea.
Yeah, the underpreparedness of the ship and the crew, was probably something along the lines of, that island is coming now, we don't know how long it'll be here, the ship is mostly ready, quick, go, go, go. Which, certainly makes sense. But I do like the time limit aspects to it, but to want to explore more. One of the things that had half crossed my mind when we came back to the captain the first time, and I didn't think to mention it, was to ask the captain, like, what if we stayed for a few extra hours just to give us, like, some time to explore something else, assuming we didn't get our heads handed to us by a couple of hippogriffs in a fight. But yeah, no, I mean, with the longer time limit, I think we either have to come with or have maybe an opportunity to procure other resources. Which again was the name of the game. That was the whole purpose of getting it and bringing it back to the ship. So,
as a first session, I think what this could have really used is like a bite, something like keep the time limit the way it is, keep the underpreparedness the way it is, but have us find something we cannot deal with right now that we want to come back and come for to like explore around, like say a big giant metal door just like in the side of a mountain for no reason that we can't unlock.
So I think,
and have the island go away afterwards, and we can't just come back here.
So before I talk about that, the one other kind of campaign level thought I'd like to get a little bit of people's opinions on is related to that whole unpreparedness and being the first voyage. From some points of view, I like that feeling. It gives the excuse for why things won't be perfectly organized and why they are playing things cautious. On the other side, it does greatly curtail the reasonableness of how much stuff can you even bring back on one ship. How big is your first ship? It's not going to be a huge galleon. It's going to be something smaller, and it can't carry all that much. So from some level, it's the question of, did you like that feel of kind of being pioneers? I know that might not have been brought forth too much, but the pioneer explorers and the first people to actually explore rather than just chop trees and leave. Or would you have rathered a story that would have allowed it being a small fleet? Maybe you have 2 or 3 kind of frigate class and 1 barge class thing that can bring a lot of stuff back. Would that have felt like a different story to you, or the same story? Any thoughts on which of those feels more satisfying to you?
I like the one airship over the fleet for where the story is.
I agree. I think coming here like an overprepared fleet, it can just like level the island of resources would take away some of my enjoyment here, because it does feel really personal to be here, to be the first off the island to come see another island and really get to be the one who explores around. I guess to that end, I think we probably should have had more potions or something.
Most likely, but Isaac is a dandy. He had other things in mind for his money, but I think the one ship is more interesting. I think if you're building a campaign, especially you're building your own custom thing, I think a lot of groups enjoy that build up from the bottom kind of feeling of the things we find are things that benefit us. It's not a adventure path where everything's laid out specifically and we're following a line. It's, well, we know what we find things, and we can see if that will help us in the future. It could come back to help us even more kind of deal. If it was a fleet, it would feel like maybe you're not as, I don't want to say important, because you're still not kind of important. You were the one sent on the very dangerous mission, because if you pass, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, so the one aspect that I'm still trying to struggle with is, so I'm very happy with most of what went on, other than I think I may explore make it an overnight and have a base camp with some supplies and not quite as unprepared a ship. But the idea of, you brought back a couple bulk worth of seeds and a couple bulk worth of things. Is that enough to make a difference? Or is this still the type of thing, kind of as I was implying in the narration at the end, it might still take like 4 or 5 years for those supplies to multiply to the point that they actually are making a difference. And if it was bigger ships or more frequent expeditions, that timeline can still be a little bit sped up. It's still going to often be a full year before, seeds to harvest type of thing. So even if you get a huge bag of seed, whatever, and balancing the feeling of what a small person team brings back impacting a large civilization. Not large, but at least a medieval city scale civilization. I want it to feel reasonable. I don't mind if there's downtime. I'm happy if there's 3 to 6 month downtime in the early parts of the campaign between island raids, but finding that right balance that at least fantasy believable, which is a little bit tough at times, and I'm not sure if the scope here is a little too small to allow that.
Painless. I think what I would say is that this is fine with this amount because we've just proved the rule that we can come over here and get seeds. We can come over here and get supplies or griffins or something big out of this. And maybe they'll send more people to come get more seeds, more things off the island rather than just a lot of lumber workers. Maybe they'll spend that lumber to try to make a tugboat that the thing can carry behind it to carry even more stuff. And we can spend the downtime as political actions to see if we can drum up more support for this cool thing that's happening.
Okay. Anyone else want to have any thoughts about any part of this experience where you would really hope to see the story go? As I said, it's going to be quite some time before I can revisit this as an actual campaign. I do hope to. I think it has a lot of potential, and I just need to spend some time putting in a little bit of ground. I don't need to over-prepare, but I do want to tease through some of these ideas a little more, and I want to pay a lot more attention to how I want to deal with those arbiters in the beginning. I do want them to help be a long-term research project to help move toward solving that problem. So I initially hadn't even planned to have them on this island. I planned to have it be a level 3 or level 4 mini invasion you fight off at your home city. I don't like that idea, so I'm not going to use that. But because I don't want them being airborne, at least in the early part of the campaign, if if ever. So, but those are things that
I think that's an end game thing, because the whole solution to it last time was getting into the air.
Yes. So.
And I think that's that threat that pops up later that is the serious of, they're in the air now too.
Yes.
There's no staying up here just to get away from them kind of
But that's also why I don't want it being a low-level crisis. It needs to be when it happens, it needs to feel like it's an important, we must deal with this now. Even if you've been thinking about going to the ground and reclaiming it beforehand, now it becomes a crisis. But I don't want to, I like telegraphing it a little bit now, just so people are aware of it. I need to be cautious with that.
Yeah, I think that it was really good. Only thing I would say is maybe some low level, not magic or anything, kind of like how we found that cold iron dagger in terms of some low level adventuring gear maybe around the place, whether it be ropes, things like that, things just so it maybe jogs people's minds of, hey, we found this thing, let's try to use it for a solution.
Good call. I can usually put that in both the farmstead and the tower. They both had supplies. Partially,
I wouldn't worry about making them like, this is your solution to this puzzle down the line, and more of, here's some things to get into the front of your mind that could be used for creative solutions for whatever you come up with. I think those are usually more interested in trying to place a solution to a problem, unless it's very specific things.
Yep.
Well, you know how I am with my creative solutions.
Yes. Well, it sounds like people are...
I'll look through my bag and go,
Sounds like people are kind of advised out of thoughts. So I think we can wrap things up here for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for playing in this little two-shot. Next week on Tuesday, we'll be back with regular Unforeseen Heroes. That is our Spore War Adventure Path playthrough. And we'll pick that right back up. And thank you all, and good night.